picture of it, really.
Hi, Molly Gebler.
Hi, Alex Gertzberg.
How are you?
You know, it's been forever since we've...
It's been ages.
It has been.
Why didn't we do it last Monday? So our guest canceled, and we were going to...
You canceled our guest.
I canceled... Oh, that's right. I did cancel our guest.
You canceled our guest.
I must have had a ton going on. I did have a ton going on. It could not be helped. I had a lot of client crises going on. Lots of fires. Speaking of client crises,
Nice
Molly,
segue.
I am, as you know, the proprietor of the single greatest law firm this side of the Mississippi.
Yes.
Right? It's called the Gertzberg Law Firm.
Yes.
So, in Passover, you know, we Jews, we sit around and one of the kids goes, how is this night different from all the other nights, right? And we say, well, Sonny or Moshe or whatever, on this night we eat matzah.
Is that your kid's name?
No, but I'm coming up with just some Jewish name
Okay.
for my kids.
Sonny? Is it Jewish?
Well, I said Moshe or Moishe. That's a good Jewish name. The reason I bring this up, Molly, is because the Gertzberg Law Firm is different from other law firms. How? If there were a holiday...
Could I ask how?
I'm so glad you asked. Client crises. So, here, this is the paradigm shift, right? Because I know you're dying to know, what does the law firm of the future look like?
Yes.
It looks like the Gertzberg Law Firm. So, you know how I spent the first half of my career working for large law firms, and then I went in-house and was general counsel to a telecom company for the next part of my career. And so I got to wear these two hats, right? One hat as the client when I was in-house, and then one hat as the outside counsel when I was at the big law firm. So when I was general counsel, I learned what I hated about outside counsel. And I never really knew what my clients hated about me when I was the outside counsel, if that makes sense, right? So you get to wear those two hats, and I thought leaving that telecom company, I'm going to build a law firm that I know clients will love to work with. And I'm going to build the kind of law firm that I used to want to work for.
Which is sometimes usually the reason that people start their own business or practice.
Right,
or
exactly. And so the biggest thing I learned when I was in-house general counsel was you spend so much more money on outside counsel when you're reacting, right? When you're already in the can, right? When you're already getting sued for something or getting investigated for something, or when you have to sue somebody because they're not paying you because you had a crappy contract or whatever. Once you're forced to engage counsel, you are spending a lot more money on legal fees and on liability and exposure than you would if you were proactive. And nobody thinks to be proactive because it's not on fire. You want to focus on your business, right? You want to focus on selling your widget. And one of the reasons that you're not thinking about being proactive is because it's expensive, right? And so one of the main philosophies of this law firm is help businesses save money by being proactive and don't make it painful for them. So we do a lot of things here that are like ideal for companies that don't have in-house counsel. We're basically serving as their in-house counsel, as though we were sitting right next door to the CEO. So we do things like we perform these internal audits, right, where we basically go in and we do spot checks and we do document requests and we do investigations and we make them affordable. And we clean up their act before they get sued. Yeah. You would be amazed at how much liability you avoid just by having a good employee handbook, right? Or just by having good employment applications for your employees that have the right language in them. Or classifying your employees properly, right? Making sure that your independent contractors aren't misclassified as contractors.
So you would go into this business and you would be able to see all that and then give a report on these are the things that you need to adjust or correct, or you'd be cited for this if it continues that way.
Yeah, so our process is very compartmentalized, and it's also very customized at the same time, right? So not every client wants the full Monty of a compliance audit, right? Where we cover sales and safety and employees and shareholder issues and everything, right? There's any number of buckets of legal issues that a company has. Some clients are just losing sleep at night thinking about their employment status. So our process, depending on which bucket they're focusing us on, or if it's the entire thing, it starts with interviews with the owners and the operators of the company. Then it's document requests, it's spot checks, and then it's a report card. And so we give them a report card that grades them from high risk, medium risk, and low risk vantage points on the things that they have exposure in. We then give them a guidance letter, right? So the report card will say you've got an F in this high risk area. Then we give them a guidance letter on how to turn that F into an A, and we give them specific instructions on how they can do it themselves. So they don't have to keep using lawyers if they don't want to. If they want to use lawyers, they can. We talk about that with them. But that is one of the suite of services that our firm gives our clients to help them be proactive so that they can not have to use us later when things are on fire.
So it's kind of like what Jeff Hoffman talked about at our workshop the other day, where it sounds as if, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I would never want to speak for you, but it sounds as if you aren't in it for the money, and you're actually truly in it to make sure these companies save money, which in turn is not putting a ton of money in your pocket.
Yeah. I think that our clients will love us and will want to do business with us in so many varied and intensive ways. And I'd rather them do it when we're saving them money rather than when we're reacting on their behalf. If I can make our litigation services obsolete for them because they were proactive, then I'm happy.
Then you feel that's
and not only that, but there's a lot of other things that we do for them other than just compliance. We really work closely with entrepreneurs. We put them in contact with the other professionals that they need, like insurance agents and accounting people and HR people and marketing people. This law firm is not the traditional law firm. This is like I try to design it like a club almost, right? Where if you can be, and we don't take everybody, so it is kind of like a club that way. We've turned away a lot of clients.
I think I was turned away a couple times.
Were you? No.
Yeah, for that fall in the parking lot.
Well, you were kind of a pain in the ass client. There's so much, but the point is that the law firm that businesses want to do business with is not just the law firm that is getting them out of trouble. It's the law firm that keeps them from getting out of trouble. And it's the law firm that is not a cost center, right? That's and then I'll shut up about this. The traditional law firm model, the one that is based on the billable hour, right?
I used to type up all those invoices for my sister.
It's filled with conflicts of interest. What the businesses want is a law firm that helps make them money rather than just costing them money. And if it can't make them money, at least it should save them money. Right. So we're focusing a lot of our energy on that kind of relationship with our clients. And we're doing pretty well. And we do a lot to help them make money. And there's more that I'm going to talk about in future episodes about that.
Stay tuned. Can we talk about this wine?
Yeah.
Isn't it delicious?
It is delicious.
Do we have the bottle here? Let's say their name so in case they are listening and they feel that they want to send us free bottles for free advertising, they may do so to the Gertzberg Law Firm, which is located at the Step North Building.
It's 100 North Main
100
Street.
North Main Street. And can you pronounce it? Because God knows I can't.
Well, we do have 1 million listeners, so it is possible
Yes.
that way down in Argentina,
Yes.
the
trust me, I am sure that there's a company here as well.
the vintners of Finca El Origen.
There you go.
It probably is not how you pronounce it.
There you go. I'm going to take a picture just in case someone has a few of these bottles laying around that they don't want anymore. They're welcome to drop them off for me because it is spectacular.
It is imported by Carolina Wine Brands
See.
in Charleston, South Carolina.
There we go. There we go.
We just gave them a free commercial.
Yeah, so if you are listening out there.
We're calling you Carolina
Yes.
Wine Brands.
Yeah, it is fantastic. Fantastic. So how was your weekend?
Oh, it was lovely.
Yeah, what did you do?
It was not. I just worked. I worked way too much. I was not a good dad this weekend.
You worked a lot on
Oh my God.
Saturday morning?
Is that when you were getting all those emails? No, I was. It was not. I worked too much this weekend. What did you do all weekend?
I actually was the opposite. That usually is my game plan. But Friday night I went out to Kent to a Paris meeting because my daughter's going to Paris in July.
Okay.
For fashion. She goes to Kent for fashion. So we had to kind of go and meet and find out. She's going to be there a month.
Mm-hmm.
And the president of the college that she's going to in Paris was in town. So he was giving his little spiel. But she's going to be like backstage with during Fashion Week.
Wow.
I mean, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
I'm very excited for her because she has not flown. So that's going to be very interesting. The debate in our house is, do we put her on a plane and fly her to New York City or somewhere close? Or do we just put her on the plane to Paris and... what's your flyer? What's your suggestion? Let her just have the first time she flies be to Paris? There is a
she'd
plane
fly to
transfer.
New York. Yeah, she wouldn't.
Yeah, there is she does whatever you call that. Yeah, but what happens if she hates it so much? And then she's like, you know what? No.
It's so bizarre to me that none of the Geblers fly.
Well, my husband flies. Samantha flies.
Oh, so it's just Molly and Emma?
How many more times? Well, how many times would a dad and a daughter go fly together? I don't know. Not in our house. We're not.
I don't know. Yeah.
And I'm not going to just take a trip to, we're going to New York City at the end of this month, but we're driving. So I don't know. That's going to be interesting.
Does she have anxiety over
She does not, and I do try to stay away from... I mean, she knows I don't like flying, but I try to stay away from discussing it around her because I don't want to put my fears on someone else.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't.
I want her to travel the world. I think she's going to have it's going to be an amazing trip. She's 19. She'll be 20 when she goes.
And she's going over there to work?
School.
Okay. For how long?
Studying abroad a month.
Wow, what an
Very
experience.
Cool.
That's amazing.
Very, very cool. Maybe we can get her to be our podcast guest afterwards so she can tell us all about... And then Saturday night we went to a fundraiser at the Croatian Hall in Eastlake.
Interesting.
And the fundraiser was for a school called CARES, which is in the Menor school system. My friend that I grew up with 2 doors down started it, and she is the president of it, and it's for children with autism. So it was 400 people there.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Let me get back to your question. I think that if Emily doesn't have anxiety over it, then it's a great first flight to go to Paris.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you, as her mom, anxious about that trip? Is this your first time away from your baby for this long?
Other than college. I mean,
But she's at Kent. Isn't she at Kent?
Yeah, it's still away.
That doesn't count. That's right down the street.
It does count.
I mean, proximity-wise.
My baby girl. Can you imagine your baby going to Kent and not seeing her every day? It's tough.
Oh, she's 3.
You know what?
It's hard
I am very excited for her, and I am so excited for her for the whole experience.
Yeah.
And I trust her. She's a great girl, and she has a great radar on things that are not good. Like she's very much like me. She feels it. She knows, what, this isn't good, or this isn't, I shouldn't. She has that good, I don't know what it is, your gut, that good gut feel of something that's not right. It's the just being abroad. It's the craziness that's going on in this world.
You mean just being abroad, A-B-R-O-A-D, one
or
word,
bra, however
as opposed to being a broad.
Abroad. That's my fear. John is going to get a passport just in case something happens and he needs to get over there.
Have any of the Geblers been out of the country?
Yes. I sent Sam. Samantha sang for the Pope in Italy.
Is that true?
She went to, she was with the Singing Angels, so she went to Turkey and Italy and Greece. She took it was a ship. She was with my parents because I wouldn't fly. So my parents went with her. But yeah, so yes, they have flown abroad.
So prior to today's...
And I have gone to Mexico. I have flown to Mexico.
Well, Mexico doesn't really count as outside the country.
I probably didn't have to show a passport at that point. No, because I don't have a passport. So, was there a time that we could go to Mexico without a passport? Yes.
I don't know.
There was a time we can go to Canada without a passport.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Canada's in the last 3 years or 4 years that's changed the passport to Canada. Yeah, because we would vacation at my brother-in-law's cabin up in Canada, and we never had to have a passport.
So
callers feel free to change. And then yesterday,
I'll
finish my weekend. Yesterday we went to a spaghetti dinner put on by the Boy Scouts, and it was so much fun. And the little Boy Scout, Isaac, a shout out to Isaac, he was our waiter, and he was just, my dad and my sister and her son and my daughter and my son-in-law and John and I and Don Gad was there. Everybody was there. It was a great time, but you had this stick on the middle of the table that was painted orange, and if you needed anything,
is that right?
You freeze it. And our little Isaac, man, he was just on it. He has little book that he took his orders with, and it was so much fun. It was just because that's what we grew up with, spaghetti dinners, especially during Lent. It was so much fun. Much fun. So yeah, that was my weekend.
That sounds lovely.
Yes.
You know what happened, Molly? Nellie and I were talking over the weekend about the content for this podcast, and Nellie suggested that we make you our guest.
Oh boy, did she research me?
She did.
Oh shit.
I'm looking at right now.
Oh boy.
Nellie Jane Gertzberg Selby's dossier on you.
Bring it. I'm an open book.
It's I don't know. Are you sure?
There's gotta be nothing.
I don't think I want to get... Well, first of all, there's so much density in your Facebook content.
Yes. I don't think it's any shock to any of the listeners that...
Nellie literally, after 30 hours of reading your Facebook posts, just threw up her hands and said, hell with this.
Well, I think she probably learned everything she needed to on Facebook. I'm an open book when it comes to my Facebooks, and all very positive. She would have left feeling very good about herself after reading all my posts.
Yes, that is true. We all, they're all lovely. Here, let's play this game, and it's called "What Did My Daughters Say About Me on Facebook?"
Ooh.
Okay. Let's start with, what would Emily say you collect? And then explain to me what the hell this is.
Salt and pepper shakers?
No.
I don't collect salt and pepper shakers.
Well, here, let's see if Sam said that you do. No. Oh, yeah, she did.
Okay.
So Sam said there used to be a salt and pepper collection.
Yes.
But Emily said Doulton, Royal Doulton.
Oh, Royal Doulton's.
Royal Doulton.
It's China. It's
the hell is
too
that?
high class for you.
No, clearly.
You want to understand. Royal Doulton is a English. So my mother's grandfather owned a china shop. So Royal Doulton, Wedgewood is another one that I collect. It's and then Waterford is my Crisco.
Why would
Do you know Toby Jugs? Have you ever seen Toby Jugs?
No.
Oh my gosh. You're
The hell's a Toby Jug?
A Toby Jug is it's
You have the
they're
weirdest collections.
They're about $600 a piece. I mean, so this is very high end stuff. And Toby Jugs are usually a face on the front and a face on the back, and it's a jug. It's a ceramic.
And they cost $600.
Mm-hmm.
And you collect
They're
them?
collectibles, and I have about 8. Well, I got my mom's collection too. So
That's so weird. How big a jug? Like a gallon?
I'm going to show you. You don't use them.
No.
Do you know what Wedgewood is?
No, but that's the other thing they said you collect. Royal Doulton
this
figurines
is
in Wedgewood.
So this is a Toby Jug.
For those of you kids listening at home that are as lost as I am,
There probably aren't many.
Nellie will be posting the pictures of Molly's Royal Doulton figurines in Wedgewood.
So I have also
And
little
Toby Jugs.
little girls. The Royal Doultons are
Oh, I thought you were gonna
girls.
say you
They're
collect little
figurines.
girls.
I collect Royal Doulton figurines. Okay, so this one, so that's a small one. So
God, that is so weird.
yeah.
What is it?
So they're all like. So this one is Old Charlie, and then there's famous people.
Are they to drink stuff out of?
No, you don't. They're on my cabinet.
God, that's so weird. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, Wedgewood's China. It's gorgeous. You've seen Wedgewood. Wedgewood is the blue, the light blue with the white piping on items.
It's China?
Mm-hmm. You've seen Wedgewood. Yeah. What else you got?
Well, hold on. What got you into these? It must have been your mom. Did your mom collect these things, and then you thought it was cool, so
You know what's
started
funny? My mom told me when we moved her from her house she went into a house
She said,
in
"Don't
Hamlet."
break my china."
No. My mom was great when it came to things were supposed to be used and looked at and touched, and if it broke, you glued it back together. Like it wasn't. She wasn't into. But we would fight about this black Wedgewood. She said she had a piece of black Wedgewood. So that's a standard piece of Wedgewood. Okay, there's teacups and plates but they come in all different colors.
Is it
There's
wooden?
Yellow, it's glass.
Why do they call it Wedgewood?
It's
This is
I don't
bull,
know.
man.
I don't know.
It's
I'm sure
false
it's
advertising.
probably Mr. Wedgewood, I'm sure, back in the day. So she talked about this black piece of Wedgewood, and I kept saying, "Mom, you don't have a piece." It was a plate. She said, "It's a plate. It's black." I'm like, "Mom, I've never seen this before in my life." And she displayed them like on cabinets like this. They would be displayed and whatever. Well, after she died, I was going through a box like 2 days later, and sure as shit, I open up this box and there's that black Wedgewood plate.
Wow.
Which is, of course, displayed proudly on my cabinet. But
See, it's staggering how different you and I are, because lately, especially, I've been thinking more and more about minimalism, right, and just getting rid of stuff.
yeah,
You know,
I
if it doesn't
need
serve a
to get to that
function.
point. And I debate about. There are days that I get so sad looking at it. And I just I want to just pack it all up.
Sad because it
get
reminds
rid
you of
it.
your mom?
Yes. Yeah.
And it's a lot more to dust.
Yes. Well, that's
I get
not
sad
on,
for
that's
that
not
reason.
on me. It's not on me. That's on Nicole. But and then there's times that I look and I remember her telling me stories about. I mean, I have things that her grandfather gave to her mother, who gave to her, which gave to me. So then that brings me pleasure. But
interesting.
But yeah, I hear you. I am not a minimalist at all.
You're a sentimentalist, is what you are.
Yes.
Which is the opposite of minimalism.
Yes, and I would love to, if somebody's out there, I would love to hire someone to come in and just spend a room a day with me and pare down and get rid of that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready. I have a whole room that is just boxes of items from her house that I haven't been able to
Is it possible you might be a hoarder?
No, because it's not like you can't open the door. They're all tucked, and I open the door. I'm like, today's the day, and then I just close the door. But you have to remember, we moved her from a 4,000 square foot home into a house at Hamlet, which was maybe 2,200 maybe, and then she died, and that was all in 4 months. So my entire garage is her house. Mm-hmm. Like, that is a spring job that is not going to be pretty for anybody. So.
All right. Well, I just learned way more than I ever wanted to about Wedgewood and Royal Doulton figurines. By the way, those of you who want to look up Royal Doulton, it's not even spelled like you would spell Dalton.
Doultan. Yeah.
Whoever Royal Doulton was does not spell.
I'm sure it's a person.
All right.
Go for it.
What do you think Emily said you would eat every single day if you could?
You know, I remember reading this question, and I think I corrected them both on Facebook and said they were both wrong. I would eat, I'm sure one of them said popcorn, movie theater popcorn, or crab legs.
Emily said crab.
Okay.
And Sam said chicken paprika.
Oh, and that as well. And then I told them that it's popcorn, but...
You would eat popcorn every day if you could?
I totally... It'd have to be movie theater popcorn, but... Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There are days that I'll ask my husband on his way home to pick me up a little bag of popcorn.
Movie theater popcorn, nonetheless.
Popcorn, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. And I have a husband that will do that. He loves me so much.
Do you think that there's a medical condition where the older you get, the more susceptible you are to popcorn kernels getting stuck in your throat?
In your throat?
Because I have that condition.
Do you?
And it's getting worse, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Maybe your throat's closing up or something.
I think that my gag reflex is becoming less sensitive.
Well, thank God you're not a girl. I guess that doesn't matter.
And that was minute 30 minutes before Molly took this thing way downtown, ladies and gentlemen.
But
that's a new record.
That's usually by the time the wine kicks in. Doesn't it take 30 minutes for a pill to get into your system?
I can't believe you waited that long. About 30 minutes. You must have had the shakes going. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Jeez, all right. All right. What did Emily say you would never wear?
I'd never wear?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Yoga pants?
Emily or Sam both gave very funny answers.
I don't know.
Well, take a guess. Oh, you said yoga pants. That's equally funny. Sam said bikini, and Emily said tank top.
Yes.
So when you all see Molly on the street
with the yoga pants and tank top,
make sure you start urging her to start wearing
trust
those
me,
around.
Nobody wants to see that.
All right. Let's see. Oh, this is an interesting one, which I never knew about you. What do you think Emily said? Something that you do. What is something that you do that she wishes you didn't? Hold on. Is that about you or about Sam? Or I mean about Emily. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this must be about Emily, and it's something that Emily does that you, Molly, wish she didn't, which makes a lot more sense because this isn't you. Do you know what it is?
No.
Doubt myself.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because you don't doubt yourself.
No.
Right.
No.
Just the opposite.
Yeah.
You have delusions of grandeur about yourself.
As you. Yes.
We both do.
Yes. Yeah. That one. And you know what? It's always those individuals that
shouldn't doubt themselves.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. She's so talented and she's so.
Yeah.
beautiful, and she has, her heart is so incredible. She is gonna.
I'll tell you something, man. It is definitely a combination of wiring, right, and an environment in some way,
Absolutely.
right? Like, I'm sure that you and John always were pushing and encouraging her and giving her no reason to doubt herself.
Right.
But she probably had friends, right, who she was competing with, maybe. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
that could
it's
be
totally
full of
true.
shit. But
Totally
like,
true. And I moved
that's
her.
environmental.
We moved when we moved from Wycliffe to Chagrin Falls, which I did. My parents did that to me when I was just going into my freshman year in high school, which is the same age as Sam. And this is not an easy community to, especially for a girl, to move into at all.
How old was she when she moved here?
She was in 4th grade, which is probably when all the judging starts.
Yeah.
You know, in high school, you're already beyond that. You have your cliques, you're tight, and...
Well, but that's early enough to where you can... I don't know. I mean, like, I would think it would be more traumatizing to move into a new neighborhood when you're in high school.
Yeah. I mean, I think both my girls, it was... But you know what? At the end of the day, when we look back, and John and I talk about it a lot, it was just the best move for us. That our
From
girls
Wycliffe?
would, our girls would not be what they're doing right now.
Right.
If we would have continued, the school levies weren't passing. It was just not a. Although I love Wycliffe, Wycliffe and Chagrin are similar when it comes to that loyalty to their city.
Yeah.
People they graduate, they move away, and they go back to Wycliffe.
I don't know anything about Wycliffe.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What did Emily say is your favorite kind of animal? This is like the Newlywed Game, but with dogs.
It is. I know. My favorite kind of animal, I'd have to say a dog because that's what I have. If a pet rock was an animal, that would be my favorite.
She said one that doesn't poop or shit.
Yes. Oh, can't stand it. Can't stand it at all.
I would say the same about kids, by the way. If you can.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
I feel like Maya waits for her mom to leave the house, and it's just me and her before she craps all over the house. Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's just awful. And that girl,
how old is she?
She's 3, but she poops like she's 25.
She does. 25-year-olds poop a lot?
She poops like she's 25 and just ate a bunch of Taco Bell.
Or Rob Sapp on the Broadway and 50 whatever.
When she gets older and she's dating, I'm going to play this audio for her boyfriends.
Yes.
So that they know.
There is a picture that I'm not going to go into detail that Emily knows I have when that time comes. It's not on. It was not on Facebook.
Interesting.
For sure, but
is it this one right here?
Yeah.
Oh my God! When did you go to Glamour Shots?
Who didn't go to Glamour Shots? That had to be like 1988 with my girlfriend Kelly Hopton.
That was nice too.
Yes, that is May Crowning in. And I just the other night when we invited you to come to the Buck Stop or wherever.
Yeah.
I was going with Tom, who is in that picture with me, which I've known since kindergarten.
So, like,
that was May Crowning.
In the early 80s when I got into my dad's porn stash, right? You look like, no offense, but you kind of look like this one woman I was obsessed with in this Glamour Shots picture.
And that's not even the good one where I have the leather jacket and the rose. There's one out there, and it's on Facebook. It's on there. It's
Best Podcast Ever listeners, you are in for such a treat this week. Oh man.
Oh boy.
All right.
Oh, those are some good pictures, Nellie. You better hope you clean up yours fast. But you know what? Here's the thing.
Yeah.
That is who I don't get embarrassed with stuff like that.
No, you look like an 80s porn girl, man. Why would you?
I just don't like it. the more it is who I am. It's me, and
I mean, you really
don't.
do. I really am amazed at your rising above petty shit, Molly. I mean, you do work in a potentially drama-filled environment, right? Just in the sense that you've got 500 members.
And 50.
550 members, right? So mostly business owners, which means large egos, in a small town, which is very insular and very, I don't know, like sometimes a little hoity, right? Yeah. And I don't know, man. I would think like I have managed to piss off a good handful of Chagrin Falls people just because of the nature of my business. I've had to sue them, right, or send them threatening letters, and that really bothers me a lot because I know that they're talking smack about me. I lose a lot of sleep over what waves I've caused, in this little town, and you don't. Or you're not making waves, which I find hard to believe.
Yeah.
You're making waves. You just don't let it bother you.
No, I don't, and I think it does come from my upbringing that my mom taught us to really just always treat people the way you want to be treated, and I try to do that with everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there's people who, we're starting these videos, and I'm sure that there's an eye roll or two that are like, oh gosh, there she is again on a video or something. But
is that That's My Jam? That's My
Jam, which it hasn't been released. No one. People are signed up, but somehow people are afraid to be the first. That first slot has not been filled yet, but none to worry. It'll be all taken care of. But the things I'm obsessed with videos that I did during the holidays, and now they're back. Those are, but you know what? At the end of the day, who cares? Yeah. I don't. I trust me, I can't sleep. Last night was a perfect example. I think I was up till 3. There's so much going on up here, and I know I've talked about this where I try to write it all down or email myself to get it out of the head. But as soon as I would send that email, then something else would pop in my head. Last night was a crazy night, but never about wondering what people are thinking about me.
I have, however, known you to hold a grudge. Which is similar.
We have to talk about that afterwards to find out who it is.
Well,
how long did it last?
You've held a grudge against folks that have wronged you.
Here's the deal. You mess with my family, and you'll see that person. But you'll see that person. But
that makes sense. That's true for anybody.
Holding a grudge is, that's between you and I, and nobody else would know that grudge with me. I don't go around and cause
it's really
that kind of issue.
Let's unpack that for a second because it's really interesting. I've learned what codependency is. Did we talk about this at a prior podcast? Codependency?
I don't think so.
All right. So codependency is when you, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because I heard Whitney Cummings talking about this on the Tim Ferriss podcast, which is an amazing podcast in general, but that is a great episode, the one where she's just doing her monologue and answering questions. And so she defined codependency, of which she believed herself to be seriously afflicted with, as
is that the same thing as an addict?
Sort of.
Because I'm an addict.
But
not of any. I'm an addict of
things that you're obsessed with.
I'm an addict of. I have an addictive personality. So if I'm watching a movie or a TV show, I'm probably just going to keep watching it.
Yeah. Let's come back to that. Mm-hmm. So she was saying that codependency is when you have this natural urge or need to make the other person happy, right? And you try very hard not to upset people, and you try very hard not to have uncomfortable conversations, and you try very hard to please people, right? And you do so in a somewhat unreasonable way, right? Like at your own expense a lot. And so you don't say to people what's on their mind, even when you should, right? Even when they need to hear it, because you don't want to upset them, right? And there's a lot more. She gave a really good talk about this, and I started to wonder whether I have some of that, because there are two people in my life, and we're going to come back to you, because it ties back into.
Listeners, I'm not one of the two.
No.
Yes.
But there's two people, right, that have wronged me, right, in a very deep way. And I have been struggling with whether to say something to them about it, because I don't know that they fully appreciate how.
Here's mine, and this is the way I was raised.
Yeah.
You can't make somebody feel the way you want them to feel.
Yeah.
If that person does not realize what they did, they're probably not going, no matter what you say, they're not going to realize what you did. So at the end of the day, you need to let it go and move on, or confront it, but I'm not quite sure that that's going to fix it.
So that's really interesting. So that is the same advice that this cat that I go and talk to periodically gave me, right?
So you can come to me for free.
I know. I have Cigna Healthcare paying for this.
Just
guy.
a bottle of whatever that is.
I know. But he said the same thing. But here's my problem, right? I struggle with this really intense conflict. On the one hand, I don't want to upset this person or either of these people. One of them I actually don't give a shit about upsetting, but I don't think. I think in that case it's very clear she won't see it my way, and I'm just going to make things worse.
Right. Gosh, we are just all in control of our own, and I think that if we all just spent as much time concentrating on our own behaviors and not those of others, it would be a better world.
Well,
it truly would.
Yeah, but you're talking about exercising a muscle that I think most people are, and by most people I mean me, don't have a lot of. It just doesn't have a lot of.
Well,
strength.
we'll talk about what bothers you about me after that. What I did to
it's
truly
the fact
upset
that you refuse to wear tank tops and bikinis.
Yes.
I'm angry about it.
Yes.
All right. So here, this would be a good time before I forget to thank our good friend Jean Makesh for giving that awesome gift.
Oh,
so the lantern.
The lantern, we will
Makesh.
post a picture. There is a picture of he and I don't know if you saw it on Facebook, him giving it and he just has this incredible
$750.
$750
to the essay contest.
And he was a guest, if you want to hear all about Gene's business.
Yeah, that was a great podcast, actually. We've gotten a lot of...
He listened to it on his way home from Dubai, he told me.
Oh, is that right?
And enjoyed it. But this, and we will post this picture. Look at how happy.
He's a happy dude.
He's so happy to give us $750 towards the essay contest.
Yeah.
And what you don't see is me tickling him from behind, and that is
why
I see. Because the other pictures, he was on the other side of me, and I said, "Get over here and stand next to me." And then we were like that.
Yes.
I said, "Get over here and stand next to me," and then
so I can tickle you until you pee.
I tickled his back, and then he smiled, and I got that great. So, are we done torturing me or no? Did you get anything good?
I thought that was all fantastic.
Okay.
We found some old glamour porn shots of you. And
yes, we will get those right out. And if I could find the other ones.
There was one other thing I wanted to ask you about. Clown school, Molly.
Yes.
I just don't understand. I want to hear about you in clown school.
That came out in another episode. I felt.
I don't think that we really talked about it a lot.
So I went to clown school, and
were you going to be a sad clown or a happy clown?
I was. Please, happy clown.
Because there's a lot of sad clowns out there.
I learned how to make all the animals in the balloon twisty things. And
how long, when was this, by the way?
This would have been like 91, like right out of high school.
Okay.
And
so this was a career choice for you?
No, I was just going to do parties on the weekends to make extra money.
Right.
And I did 2 of them, and I paid attention more to the parents because they were paying me and wondering how they were, was I doing a good job for them? And I wasn't really focused on the kids, which is where I should have been focused on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just never did it again because the stress of them, making sure I was doing a good job for them was too much. And I should have, if I just would have gotten that out of my head and just rolled around with the kids.
Right.
I mean, make a balloon animal in front of a 6-year-old, you're gold. So.
How long is the clown school curriculum?
It's very intense. I can't even tell you. I remember Gay Stern was my teacher. She actually lived here in Chagrin. Her dad was Gus Stern. I don't know where she is now. I don't know. It was night school. It was night school, so I don't know.
Well, was it like
it was like
months?
Yeah, I think.
Really?
Maybe because it was maybe 8 classes every week, or I mean one. I don't know. So like 8 classes. I don't know.
What does the clown school final exam look like?
Here's the deal. I do have a picture of me in my handmade clown costume that my grandmother, who was a seamstress, made for me.
Right.
That I will find and get it up on the podcast for you.
No, seriously though, what does the final exam look like?
I don't even know.
Do they just graduate anybody?
I'm sure I had to make some. I'm sure I had to make some clown things.
I mean, is there a written portion or?
I don't even recall. I'm sure that I was badass and I aced it with flying colors. That's all I know. That's all I know. Yeah.
Do you remember how much you had to pay to go to this clown school?
I again do not.
Did you use real money or clown money?
But definitely would share that if I knew.
All right, Molly.
Yes.
If Michael Bolton, Neil Diamond 20 years ago, and Kevin Love were all in this room right now, whose clothes would you tear off first? Wow, smoke just flew out of your ears just now.
Here's the deal. I obviously wouldn't want to do that to anybody. This is a game.
Sure.
Because I'm a happily married woman with my husband.
Do you think that if you had the opportunity to sleep with those 3, any of them, when they're 29 years old, that John would be cool with it?
John would be cool with me sleeping with somebody if they had Ohio State season tickets.
To give to him?
Yes.
Or even just for one game.
He's always stated that if I'm going to cheat on him, it better be somebody with Ohio State season tickets so that he can get them out of the divorce settlement.
Wow.
Yes. We talk
this
about
has
everything.
been a real revelation here, ladies and gentlemen.
We're honest about everything. Do you want to know who his pass is?
Yeah.
His pass is Andy McDowell.
Interesting choice, John.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
That's his pass. Yeah.
I mean, like from the Groundhog Day?
Right.
Like not recently.
Although she's
is she? She still got it?
Yeah.
She was hot in Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
And also, wasn't she in St. Elmo's Fire? Wasn't she Emilio Estevez's girl?
Yes, she was. She was the doctor that he went
and
drove
up she was
for.
smoking hot in St. Elmo's Fire.
That's a good movie.
You know who else was in that? Is Demi Moore.
Oh yeah.
Right until she basket cased it halfway through.
About Last Night is another great.
Oh my God, that was a great movie.
Did I ever text you? You can't ignore me, Dan. Although you usually text me. That's usually my response to someone that I've texted and haven't heard back from. You can't ignore me, Dan, and that's a. Although you know what, that's
what
Fatal
movie is
Attraction.
That from? Fatal Attraction.
Now that I think about it,
right.
it's Fatal Attraction.
All right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Jim
Mixed
Belushi in About Last Night. That has to be his best. Blobbity blue, blobbity blah, blobbity blue.
About Last Night, I think was in fact
a porn.
Yeah, it was total porn.
Oh, that 9.5 weeks we were not allowed to watch that.
Yeah.
That was a sneak. We had to sneak those movies.
You know what's a great non-porn movie that I just saw like a week ago is Captain Fantastic. Have you seen that?
Is it good?
Loved it.
Okay.
Loved it.
Okay.
Loved it.
You'll be happy. I started watching Goliath.
Yeah. Did you like that movie?
Have you seen it?
I've
it's
watched
not a movie,
I know it's a series.
show.
I've watched the first 3 episodes.
Okay, because he that's an in-house counsel for that.
There is an in-house counsel in it, but
no, he's on his own.
Yeah.
But he's suing the guy from The Big Chill.
Yeah.
Who is
William Hurt.
William Hurt, who is an in-house counsel for the big
law firm.
No, the big.
No, the in-house counsel is the African-American guy.
Okay, right.
William Hurt is head of the Goliath law firm, the giant law firm that what's-his-face started.
Yes. Okay.
This all goes back to my ability to watch binge shows. I watched 3 episodes.
Yeah, I binged
like
it. That's my addict thing. And I watched the last episode, and now they're not even saying if it's going to come back for a second one.
Do you ever feel like after you've watched like 10 episodes of something and then you take a break for a week that you have a hard time coming back to it?
Well, usually I'm only watching ones that can be done in my sitting. Like, I'll just get it done. And then I have a list. I have to have my list of ones that I can't. I have to, like, they're not going to come back for like a year. So I need to remember that I've watched them.
And you're good with like coming back a year later? Or like you would watch them just
because
before
House of Cards is a classic that I usually binge it all, and then I have to wait a year for it to come back.
Crazy.
It is what it is.
What else should we talk about?
Speaking of Neil Diamond, I'm super pumped because he has his own station on XM Radio.
Is that right?
18, and I'm in heaven. It went from Bon Jovi, which I also enjoyed, to now Neil Diamond.
Interesting.
I don't know how long it lasts. Maybe a month.
See, I think. Do you listen to Spotify?
You know what? I have it on my computer. It's a little. It's always automatically coming up and coming on, and that drives me crazy. It's kind of like Skype. Like you can't.
See, I can't understand why people still listen to satellite radio when they can have Spotify and you can command any
80s Love channel?
Yeah, there's one on Spotify.
Oh.
Yeah. So basically...
Because you can't listen to that in your car.
Yes, you can.
On your phone and you're using your data.
Oh, yeah, you got to get unlimited data.
Can we talk about the dots on your shirt? I have that written down. You have little dots on your shirt. Yeah.
What do you want to talk?
I don't know.
You've spotted them.
Yes, but we'll have to take a selfie. Yeah, I'm totally on it. I totally got it. Totally got it. Oh.
Yeah, no, I don't know. This is the one. This was the lucky winner this morning.
So I went at Kent. There's a store, and I can't think of what the name of it is. Emily took me. It's actually a brilliant store concept. I mean, it is a thrift store. It's not a new concept for anybody.
Do you want more wine, by the way?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
However, it is the outfits there are. I mean, I'm talking. These are from the 70s. This isn't like pretend. These are like these. They had these shirts that my mom used to have. They were full sequin shirts, tops that she would have. She actually brought them back from home.
What's the name of this store?
I don't know, but in and out were frat because we were there on a Friday night. Mm-hmm. They were all coming to get the gangster, not gangster.
Pimps and Hoes party?
It may have been a Pimps and Hoes. I think it was more Godfather-ish. It was top hats and canes.
Interesting.
So they were all, but it was which is brilliant to have a store like that on a college campus. Right. But just the pants, those polyester plaid pants, and they are straight off of the Brady Bunch. I mean, I enjoyed myself so much at that place. I don't know what the name of it's called. I did buy some albums.
Thrift store in Kent.
Kent, yeah.
Molly highly recommends
I bought a Neil Diamond, a Kenny Rogers, greatest hits, and
on what?
Michael Stanley.
On tape?
No, vinyl, baby.
On vinyl? Do you have a record player at home?
I have an incredible record player from Lowe's Electronics with an unbelievable speaker.
Interesting.
And you turn that baby up and you don't know. I mean, it's just so...
People who, like audiophiles, I think they call you guys, who listen... Well, I guess an audiophile is just someone who is really into, like, music history. But I call people who own record players and play music on them audiophiles. And I find them to be very interesting people.
I will...
You really dig it. You really dig your record player music.
From growing up with my mom, it was just my mom, and she was hip. She was 32 and a widow during the 70s. So music was like, we would sit on the living room floor and turn on records and play them all day long. And it's funny because there'll be songs that come on the radio that my sister and I will call each other and be like, I am on the floor on the blue carpeting at the Wycliffe House right now. I mean, it just takes you, and music is so freaking powerful.
Yeah,
it's
agreed.
So, I mean, 3 little keys of a song, and you are a senior year back on the dance floor at prom. I mean, it's so, and that is why I think that religions that don't allow music, I don't know if they're still around. I know that my family, some converted to a different Christian religion, and growing up they wouldn't let their kids listen to and Bad Out of Hell. No, it wasn't Bad Out of Hell. It was Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven. That was like the devil.
Well, there's only one thing to do in those communities, Molly. You know what it is?
What?
You gotta cut it loose. You gotta break into Footloose.
I could see how their philosophy with the dancing and the music and how it brings up things.
The devil.
I could no sexual feelings, and I could see how that is possible. Oh, music is so awesome. It's shit today. I'm gonna be honest with you, except Adele. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't listen to it. I don't listen to like.
It's crap. I said shit a lot in this episode. I think that we're gonna have to get the warning rating.
This is another reason you should listen to Spotify. It's not shit. There's a lot of really, really, really great music on it, and Spotify is like a commercial for them. So Spotify, call me.
Yes.
They tune
Twinkies.
There's great touring bands out there, and there's like Thievery Corporation is this awesome DJ group.
I don't try.
Trombone Shorty, you ever listen to Trombone Shorty? Man, I listen to, there's a band out there called Lettuce. They've got an album called Mount Crushmore. It is probably the best album I think I've heard in a long time, come out recently. You should listen to that really loudly until your ears bleed.
Speaking of ears bleeding, I heard an interesting speaker on my XM radio on one of my news channels about, he was a ear doctor, and he was talking about the effects that they are starting to see now
from loud music
with the kids, because
the in-ear headphones ain't helping nothing.
No, that's why I have my big 1980s headphones at my house. Right.
Well, let's end the episode on big 1980s headphones, Molly Gebler.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would like the millions of listeners at home to think about?
Did you go to the new Heinens yet?
I did not. I hear it's awesome.
I did. You know what? Here, it's great. It's just it's what I would expect from Heinens.
Which is awesome.
If that makes sense. Right, exactly.
I love those guys.
So it's not like I walked in there and was floored with it, if that makes sense. I walked in there saying, yeah, this is a great Heinens, which is what I would expect from Heinens.
Yeah. They have really good food selection over there at Heinens.
They did. Yeah, they do.
There's not a lot of crap.
It's going to be great to be able to run there and grab a sandwich versus having to, your pocketbook. When you live in or work in the village here, It's hard to.
Well, and your choices are general. I mean, all great restaurants here in Sugar Falls, but there's
you're
like
dropping
6 of them.
$20.
And there's 6 of them.
Yeah.
So, like, you're constantly circulating
Yeah.
through the 6 restaurants. And now those guys, I'm sure, are not thrilled with Heinen's being here. But
as I mentioned on my Facebook, and I want to mention it on the podcast, new friends are shiny and wonderful. But old friends are old friends, and we need to remember old friends. So we need to remember our friends like Chuck's Beverage. We need to remember our friends like Sugar Me Dessertery, and we need to remember our friends like Hungry Bee with prepared foods.
Yeah.
Because they have been our friends for a long time, and
you know who one of my friends is that Dave's Cosmic Sub.
Dave's Cosmic
Man,
Sub.
that cat.
And Lemon Falls is another one.
Yeah.
Although Lemon Falls was at Heinen's, and they're thrilled because they can walk and get their some ingredients that they may be out of versus, and for the elderly, I mean, that's a great. It was needed.
Yeah.
It was definitely needed, and we're happy they're here.
On that note,
yeah.
Let us end this amazing podcast.
Because now I'm hungry.
Yeah. All right, kids. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Molly Gebler.
Thank you, Alex Gertzberg. It's been too long.
I know. Let's do this again next week. Later.
Ciao.